Now, India has become an epicenter of diplomacy right now. The Shanghai Cooperation Defence Ministers meeting, it's currently taking place. Indian Defence Minister Rajnath Singh chairing the meet under the theme Secure SCO. Defence Ministers of China, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Russia, Tajikistan and Uzbekistan will be attending the meeting in person in New Delhi. That's underway right now, while Pakistan is participating in the meet virtually. Now, India has also invited Belarus and Iran as observer states in the SCO Defence Ministers meeting. The ministers will also discuss matters related to regional peace and security, counter-terrorism efforts within the SCO and effective multilateralism. On the sidelines of the SCO Summit, the Indian Defence Minister also held bilaterals with his Chinese counterpart yesterday. The two ministers held discussions over the situation on the India-China border. Singh categorically conveyed that any development in the relationship between India and China is contingent on prevalence of peace at the borders. He also reiterated that violation of existing agreements has eroded the entire basis of relations. The Indian Defence Minister also then held bilaterals with Kazakhstan, Tajikistan and his Iranian counterpart as well, where he emphasized on defence cooperation. It is also expected that the Indian Defence Minister will be holding a separate bilateral meeting with his Russian counterpart today. Russian Defence Minister Sergei Shoigu is in New Delhi, and this is the first time that he is visiting India since the war in Ukraine broke out. Meanwhile, Russian Foreign Minister has confirmed that he will be taking part in the meeting of the Council of Foreign Ministers of Shanghai Cooperation Organisation, which will take place next month. We're now joined by our principal diplomatic correspondent Siddhant Sibal from New Delhi. Siddhant, thank you so much for joining us. The meet is underway. What can we expect?
Well, we have heard this statement made by the Indian Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, who emphasized on a prosperous, secure and stable region. We know that India's emphasis when it comes to its chairmanship of the grouping is to make sure that issues like radicalization, counter-terrorism are dealt with, and the Defence Ministers Forum is seen as the right forum for it. After the opening statements, now there are, even as we speak, statements of other ministers present in the meeting. We know that all countries barring one are present in person. Pakistan is joining virtually, but essentially we do expect various countries to release their own set of statements after their ministers have read out the statement. The larger focus for India under its chairmanship of the SCO is to also emphasize on issues like connectivity and shared Buddhist cultural heritage. In fact, India hosted a meeting on Buddhism a few weeks ago when it comes to SCO, and when it comes to connectivity, India has been talking about Chabar port as a way to connect with the region. Iran will become a full-fledged member of the grouping in July of this year at the Delhi Summit, and thereafter we will see more focus on Chabar as well.
Right, absolutely, Siddhant. We've seen a lot of bilaterals have already been held, lots more planned for the day. What can we expect from the Indian side? What areas of cooperation are we looking at?
Well, when it comes to the bilateral meetings, we do expect bilateral meetings to begin by 3 p.m. The Russian Defence Minister will be holding bilateral with his counterpart, the Indian Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. Then thereafter, there are meetings with the Belarus Defence Minister and the defence ministers of other Central Asian countries, but largely the focus for Indian side is to increase its defence cooperation with the member countries of the SCO. Of course, Pakistan and China stand out. We saw that big bilateral meeting between the Indian and the Chinese defence minister, in which India clearly told the Chinese side that they need to make sure that there is peace and tranquility at the border, given the fact that how Chinese have been involved in aggressive actions in India's northern borders.
All right. Well, Siddhant, thank you so much for bringing us the latest on this. We will, of course, continue to track all the developments very closely. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.